OK, let's see who's on next. Hello.
James?
Yes, hello.
James, I've got this problem.
Yes, what is it?
James, I'm scared of Christmas.
Don't be so ridiculous. How could you be scared of Christmas, woman?
But I am. Everything's shut. What if my heating breaks
Shut
down?
up, you stupid woman. Don't you know about the YTV Christmas line? Phone the YTV Christmas line and they will sort out all your problems. All right? Good. Goodbye.
Ring YTV's Christmas line on Leeds 448-199.
It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. With me are four brilliant panellists from Scotland and beyond. On my right we have Susie McCabe and Stephen Buchanan, and up against them are Billy Kirkwood and Julia Sutherland. In the news this week, the UK's only giant pandas have set off for China after leaving Edinburgh Zoo. Their return home has been complex and delayed, mainly because the passport office won't take black and white photos. Ursula von der Leyen has been named the world's most powerful woman by Forbes. Nicola Sturgeon had hoped to be nominated, but will have to make do with her award for Camper Van Monthly. And Robert Jenrick has resigned as Immigration Minister, saying the government's emergency Rwanda legislation does not go far enough. You've got to admire someone so committed to deporting people that he's actually sent himself home. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Susie and Stephen, can you tell me what this is all about?
Boris Johnson has apologised for
Scotland's performance in reading, maths and science.
Mr Johnson has admitted that his government unquestionably made mistakes, but insisted that
Nearly 700,000 15-year-olds
did the best they could.
I love that. Great mash-up this week. What do you think our first story might be? Susie?
This is the COVID inquiry, isn't it?
It's the right answer, Susie. Well done. It's the UK COVID inquiry, which heard former Prime Minister Boris Johnson this week. In a dramatic 2-day session, he told the inquiry he should have twigged how serious the virus was sooner than he did, and defended not chairing 5 Cobra meetings on COVID in early 2020, saying the virus seemed to be a cloud on the horizon. Dominic Cummings nicknamed Boris Johnson the trolley due to the way he changed direction and things, and also because he's anybody's for a pound. Oh, what a lovely image. What did you make of what Boris had to say?
He kept saying, the government made mistakes. The government made mistakes. I'm like, he is going to be furious when he finds out who was actually leading that government. It was the same with Matt Hankett. He was like, the government made mistakes. You're like, you were the health secretary, mate.
Well, there he is. He's been chatting away this week at the UK COVID inquiry. Stephen, what did you make of what Boris Johnson had to say?
I just thought it was funny how much he was lying, and because that's just what I do in those situations. Like, difficult. It's like he's acting like me. Like a few weeks ago, I had to go to the post office to take back an Amazon package, right? And it had quite embarrassing items in it. Nothing creepy. It was just like capes and masks.
Did you send back a PPE delivery?
Yes. No, I make wee comedy sketches online, so I had capes and wigs and fake blood and all that. And the guy behind the counter at the post office said that because I bought the items individually, I had to send them back individually. So he started opening the package in front of me and making me comments like, "Oh, did you have a fun weekend?" And I just panicked. I just lied. I was like, "No, it's for the Waynes." I don't have any Waynes. So now I just need to, for the rest of my life, pretend that I've got a bunch of Waynes. Every time I'm going in to buy a loaf, I'm picking up a couple of Kinder Surprises as well.
Julia, what did you make of this? Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson giving his testimony to the UK COVID inquiry. What did you make of what he had to say?
Well, I think the best thing about that is the fact that we can say former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It's so delightful to be able to use that word.
Remember when you get caught out at school when the class was reading and you weren't paying attention? Or the teacher would suddenly go, and Billy, you pick up the next paragraph. The fox is in the well? This is maths, Billy.
Susie, could Boris Johnson say anything that would change your opinion over his handling of COVID?
If he said he was moving to Rwanda, that would change my opinion on him.
Julia Sutherland, what about this? We're talking about timing and how it was wrong for certain decisions during the pandemic. Tell us about a time when your timing could have been better.
Well, I'm always late. Always late. I've got no sense of time at all. And actually, it turns out just last week I finally got diagnosed with ADHD. I know, I think I might be the only comedian to have it. But no, it's funny because like all my life I thought I had a personality. But it turns out I just had symptoms. So it's been interesting trying to sort of like unpick, looking back over my life and going, oh, right, that was because of that. You know, like I was a bit of a goer in my 20s, but it turns out that was a medical thing. I was...
Was that the diagnosis?
I was dopamine mining, actually, Billy. You should know all about this.
I do, because I've got ADHD as well.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I got it in 1997, original blend, baby.
He's the OG.
Yeah, you got all your iPhones to distract you now. No, me, I used to get distracted by Blue Tack.
Boris Johnson has been accused of not making children a priority during the pandemic, not by the inquiry, by the Child Support Agency. We know what our first story is. Any ideas what our second story might be, Billy?
It's the study into Scottish education performance came out this week.
It's the news that performance in Scotland's high schools has slipped, according to new international research on education. The PISA report measures education standards amongst nearly 700,000 15-year-olds worldwide. The report shows a long-term decline in Scotland's performance in reading, maths and science. Apparently in maths, Scotland's score is down from 498 to 471, which is a massive drop of I can't work it out percent.
This is quite difficult because obviously there was the curriculum for excellence that came in quite a few years ago, and it was explained to me like this. So if I was to teach you, if you were coming into my classroom and went, I'm doing Greek and you couldn't manage Greek, and I would go, all right, we'll do stickle bricks instead. Des is smashing stickle bricks. Well done, but when it comes to your Greek exam, it goes, oh, I'm not doing that well. Billy just taught us stickle bricks. He's maybe not got education anymore, but he can make a nice unicorn. That's kind of where it is.
What do you make of the study's findings, Susie?
It was quite long. It had no pictures in it. So I didn't finish it. Oh, do you know what? I know people that are teachers, and I went to school with these people, and they are idiots, man. I'm not blaming all teachers, it's just a lot of the teachers I know are BAMs. Right, they're just BAMs. We were BAMs together. I became a comedian, they became a teacher, and they're now curating the minds of the young population of this country, and God help us all, ladies and gentlemen.
Stephen, you've seen a bit about this report, I'm sure. What do you make of the study's findings?
I think it's a load of rubbish, to be honest. I think half of it isn't even relevant. Like, right here it says that Scotland is underperforming in Reading. I mean... What does a town in England have to do with us, do you know what I mean?
Do you think school's harder now than it was in our day?
100%. I mean, kids are difficult. Like, I literally saw my son the other day trying to zoom in on a picture in a newspaper. He's there, pinching. And he's 3, which is fair enough, but, you know...
They grow up so fast, don't they? Julia Sutherland, what about this? Do you think school's harder now than it was in your day?
Well, it must be harder now, because there's, like, more history to learn, for starters. Like...
What do you think, Susie? Do you think school's harder now than it was in your day?
No. Not a chance. Oh, these phones are a distraction. They're not. Anything will distract us. We're teenagers. Boobs, they distracted me. That was exhausting.
Especially when you learn to write it on the calculator. Oh, Stephen, we're talking about school. What would be your least favourite school subject and why?
Mine was maths, because I was accidentally put in the bottom class, right? Because
The BAM class?
Aye.
The best classes, Stephen.
Listen, it wasn't. I'll tell you why. They didn't try to teach us, they just made us play darts.
With your compass?
No, with real darts. We had a dartboard in the class.
A dartboard!
That's the way they try to teach us maths, and that's because that's going to be a good thing given the biggest psychos in school, mini aerodynamic knives. They just started chucking them at my feet all day, and I was like, I wasn't good at maths, so I started learning how to tap dance. It was intense.
Oh, brilliant. Bullseye for Stephen. Well done. Religious studies are much more inclusive today compared to the past. Students are encouraged to learn about different gods, such as Allah, Vishnu, and Super John McGinn. And at the end of that round, well done. The teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to two friends of the show, comedian Scott Agnew and broadcaster Lucy White. So, Billy and Julia, what do you think our Scott is on about here?
The world is a miserable place at the moment. Literally everything is going a bit Pete Tong. And if a little bit of this helps give you a wee endorphin boost, then really, who are we to deny it?
They want to have, like, smoking-style labels on our junk food now, so...
Yes, it's a story that the UK government's former food czar, Henry Dimbleby, has called for ministers to roll out smoking-style restrictions on junk food and turn away from plans to put millions of people on weight loss drugs. This is the story that obesity is costing the UK economy nearly £100 billion. Experts have told us to tighten our belts, but we can't, because we're fat. Billy Kirkwood, do we need smoking-style restrictions on junk food? What do you think?
I put on 2 stone during lockdown, right? But I found out, I went and got tested and I found out why I'd put on 2 stone while I'm feeling so bloated, because it turns out I'm actually allergic to hee-haw. Nothing! I could eat anything I want! Anything I want! I'm going to go lick the walls after this!
Julia, what do you think? Do we need smoking-style restrictions on junk food?
I don't think so. I'm somebody that has struggled with my weight my whole entire life. I've always been big. I've eventually lost 6.5 stone. Thank you, I found it again. No, hold your applause. Same as Billy, I gained a couple of stone in lockdown and then lost it. I've actually recently lost quite a significant amount of weight, but I am still technically obese. Woo! So I'm looking forward to my next goal is to be overweight. That's good, isn't it? When your weight loss goal is to be overweight.
I would love to see like a 16-year-old hanging outside a McDonald's trying to get someone to get a jump in for him. Can you jump in there and get me a 20 of nuggets, mate?
Because that'll be the next thing, an age restriction.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, you need to be 30 before you can have a burger.
It's all coming. It is happening right now, looking at ways to make us eat healthier. With all of these vices, why do we keep coming back to stuff that we know is bad for us?
It's addictive, isn't it? It's just addictive. I've got one main vice just now, Love Island. That's my vice. And it sounds daft, but it's just the same as drinking alcohol. It makes you feel depressed. You only get into it because your pals all like it. And everybody on it thinks they're a lot sexier than they actually are.
Julia, what about you? Any ideas on this one? How would you encourage everyone to eat a bit more healthily?
Well, you need to get air fryer.
Yeah.
Like a NutriBullet, for making smoothies. Bread maker, make your own bread. And George Foreman grill, one of these grills. Because then you'll have no room left in your cupboards for food. So that should work. That's just an idea.
Problem solved. Susie, any ideas? How would you encourage everyone to eat a bit more healthily?
I'd start being a bit adventurous with your salads. That's the
sugar.
Yeah, as someone who loves a salad, Let me tell you, the more adventurous you can be, the more of that salad you will eat and you'll enjoy it. One of my favourite toppings is gravy on a salad.
Scotland's answer to olive oil there. Adventurous Salads by Susie McCabe. Available at all good supermarkets. It's your turn now, Susie. And Stephen, what do you think Lucy is talking about here?
I had never heard this before, never said it, never had it said to me, which is pretty unfortunate actually, now that I know what it means.
Was it the Oxford Word of the Year, Des?
That's a great shout. It's the right answer. Well done. It is the news that Riz, a slang term for romantic appeal used by Generation Z, has been chosen as the Oxford Word of 2023. Defined as the ability to attract a sexual partner through style, charm or attractiveness, the word is associated with younger generations and emerged from internet culture.
I wanted to know if I had it, so I Googled it. I went on this forum, and it was behind a paywall, so I had to then subscribe, get an account, put in my card details. And it turns out if you do all that, you do not have Riz.
But at least now you know.
Yeah.
Susie, were you aware of the Word of the Year?
No. Just to explain, I am sat here in a pair of Skechers, a cardigan, and a scarf. And I've got some double denim on underneath that cardigan. If that equates to Riz, the young people are failing themselves.
I'm dressing you like a game of pass the parcel this time. Julia, now that you know the definition, would you describe yourself as Riz?
For the benefit of the listeners at home, I'm wearing a cerise pink suit, which makes me look like menopausal Barbie. And so I don't know. Come on, Barbie, on HRT. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably not.
Well, look, we're talking about the Word of the Year as determined by the Oxford English Dictionary. But what do our panel think is their favourite word?
My favourite word is earth. I don't know why, it just means the world to me. Come on.
There is a man that's got plenty of Riz. Let's go round the houses in this. We're talking about the Word of the Year. But Susie McCabe, what is your favourite word and why?
Penguin. It's a great word. Penguin. 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 Penguin.
Julia, we're talking about favourite words. What is your favourite word and why?
Adding a question mark to any word changes everything, doesn't it? Yeah.
You're like the Riddler. I'll be the Penguin, you be the Riddler.
Yeah.
Mines are usually Scottish words, so I've got a couple of them. Boke is a belter.
Yes.
I've got the boke. Gives me the boke. You are the boke. I am boke. Who's the boke? The walrus is the boke. Boke. And finally, oofed. Technically not an expression, but I just think it's perfect for absolutely anything. Imagine if the news started coming back from the COVID inquiry and I would go back live to the studio. Oofed. Anyway.
There we go. Riz is indeed the top word of 2023. That was the right answer. And 2 points go to Susie and Stephen. You're listening to Breaking the News from BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. This round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Susie and Stephen, you're first this time. Who is this?
You don't have to agree with someone to recognise they had a mission and a plan, in her particular case, about entrepreneurship.
Sir Keir Starmer.
Is the right answer. Well done. Labour leader Captain Riz himself, Sir Keir Starmer, is the answer we were looking for. And Sir Keir Starmer has defended praising former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. The Labour leader said Baroness Thatcher set loose Britain's natural entrepreneurialism in an article for the Sunday Telegraph. Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar criticised Mr Starmer's words, saying Margaret Thatcher decimated Scotland.
Who tries to win back, like, Scotland? as a Labour heartland by going, I tell you who I really admire. He's an idiot.
He's just so spineless, isn't he? And he's just trying to like please everyone all the time. He's like the human equivalent of having a deadly peanut allergy and then telling the waiter that everything is great when he asks you how your chicken satay is.
There we go. Sir Keir Starmer praised Margaret Thatcher. Do you think this is soured support for Starmer? Julia, what do you think?
I cannot understand it. You know, I like a nice tailored suit, but I'm not going to say that woman's name. You know, like... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Oh. Somewhere, you know, there's a PA on the phone going, he said who? Oh, I wish he'd said Hitler.
Well, there you go. It looks like in the polls, nonetheless, Sir Keir Starmer is still miles ahead. Where do we think this leaves the general election?
Okay, it's a bit like being asked what eye do you want poked in.
Left or right, Keir's not quite sure.
No.
Very quickly on this one, we've talked about Sir Keir Starmer having an unpopular opinion with a lot of his voter base, but what is the unpopular opinion that each of our panel have? Stephen, I'm going to start with you. What's your most unpopular opinion?
I don't think rotating the pizza halfway through cooking actually does anything. I have never done it once in my life, and it turns out perfect every time. Half pepperoni, half black ash.
Perfect.
Mamma mia.
Susie, what is your most unpopular opinion?
People who don't preheat an oven
Smooth.
deserve to die.
Do you rotate your pizza, Susie?
Absolutely. Because I'm a grown-up, Stephen.
Right, see you later, cheers.
Billy, we're talking about unpopular opinions. What would be your most unpopular opinion?
The left Twix tastes better than the right Twix. You're gonna check?
Yes, 2 points to Susie and Stephen. That was Sir Keir Starmer. Right, Billy and Julia, it's your turn again now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
When I first started off and when I was a young child expressing an interest in all of this, I had a video camera and I was actually directing like little horror short films at the time.
That is Karen Gillan.
That is Karen Gillan, who's in the news after she appeared in an episode of The Simpsons that was set right here in Scotland. The Scottish-centric episode saw The Simpsons visit Edinburgh for the Fringe and the Old Course in St Andrews, as well as poking fun at some Scottish stereotypes.
My favourite quote from The Simpsons is Mo, the bartender. He's my favourite person. And he goes, I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of, and the things I'm proud of are disgusting. And I thought, Mo, I think you might be my spirit animal.
Apparently, Homer says in the clip about Edinburgh, if only, he said he wished that all the hills could just go down. Which I've never identified with Homer Simpson more in my life.
I get from one venue to the other, you know that. Stephen, what have you made of what we've seen so far of The Simpsons' visit to Scotland? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I liked seeing Lisa go to the Fringe and like actually go and see some shows, because my pals went this year and they spent 6 hours in the Weatherspoons above Waverley Station and then got the last train home. I was like, you do realise you could have done that in Glasgow? And they're like, yeah, but it's nice to get some culture into it.
Julia, what do you think about the accuracy? Was it there for this accuracy in the portrayal of Edinburgh and St Andrews?
I think it's nice to have Scotland and Scottish people portrayed differently on TV shows. I just think so often on TV shows, Scottish people are portrayed as violent criminals, you know, like on like EastEnders or like The Bill or what's the other one? The News. And...
Well, there we go. The Simpsons have come to Scotland. Obviously, when Americans visit here, there are certain mistakes that are made. Billy, what do you think the most common mistakes are that Americans make about the UK?
We don't care who your ancestors are. We don't care. The number of times you'll get stuff. Hey, this is my clan. Oh, what's your clan's name? Glens, Hutchinsons, Robinsons, and Stepek.
You know the bad thing is when I lived in America, like they would say to you, "Oh, you're from Scotland. I met someone from Scotland." You'd be like, "Oh, for God's sakes!" And then it turned out I did actually know them.
The Simpsons have been running for 34 years, an extraordinary achievement for a show which, even in its first series, was making jokes about Joe Biden being too old to be president. Yes, well done. Karen Gillan was, of course, the right answer, and 2 points go to Billy and Julia. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
How annoying is that?
Oh, there you go. That's Kay Adams there, who's just heard Wham's Last Christmas for the 55th time while shopping. Fingers on buzzers, and here we go. What happened 100 million times on Tuesday? Susie.
Keir Starmer changed policy direction.
It's a lovely answer. You should get the point for that, but it's something else we're looking for. What happened 100 million times on Tuesday? Billy.
The toilet seat wasn't put back down. Am I right, ladies?
It's a lovely answer. These are great. Let's keep going. What happened 100 million times on Tuesday? Julia.
The number of times people rolled their eyes at the COVID inquiry.
Such a good answer. What happened 100 million times on Tuesday? Stephen.
Your dad's saying 3 weeks today and that'll be Christmas over for another year.
I will give you a gift wrap bonus point for that, sir. The answer is this. The new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer was viewed around 100 million times on Tuesday, setting a record for the most YouTube views in 24 hours.
How annoying is that?
Oh, there's a klaxon. Kay has Adams. That means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Billy Kirkwood and Julia Sutherland! And commiserations to Susie McCabe and Stephen Buchanan! And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. A special meeting of the Scottish Cabinet has been called as ministers face a budget black hole of at least £1 billion after Michael Matheson's sons decided to watch the midweek Celtic match. A California man has received a 6-month jail sentence for deliberately crashing his plane for his YouTube channel. Suspicion was first raised by air traffic control when instead of saying Mayday, the guy shouted, "Like and subscribe!" And James Cleverly has flown to Rwanda to sign a new treaty on his government's asylum plan. It's a big win for the government as it brings the total number of people they successfully sent to Rwanda up to 1. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!